Alright, right now we're going to learn about some comic structure. And guess who's going to teach you? This guy. Alright, what's going on? It's Alan Thomas, aka Shadow Assassins, and right now I'm going to give you a quick tip, let's hope this is quick, on something to keep in mind when you're laying out your comic panels, and that is training someone's eye to where to look with your actual artwork, as opposed to just leaving that up to the viewer to decide where they should be looking on there. You want to direct somebody's eye as opposed to letting them figure out on their own where they're supposed to be looking. So, here we go. Okay, starting out right now, I'm gonna make a couple panels. Let's see, and this is a simplistic tutorial, and the way that it actually looks is not important, which is why I'm sort of rushing through how these panels are about to be laid out, and I'm laying it out this way for a reason. And I'm just warning you ahead of time, these are gonna be stick people in these pages, or panels. Pages, what the hell am I talking about? So to start with, I made 3 different panels. What I'm going to do is, let's see, I'm going to select this first panel at the top, and I'm going to draw something in here, I guess. Let's say this is green guy. So I'm going to have green guy. Green guy is running, and down here, this is blue guy. Close-up shot of his head. So, and then down here at the bottom, and then down here is blue guy getting punched in the face by green guy. This looks awful. That's not important at the moment. If we back out of this, okay, that's our page. If I was to measure out how this page actually looks, this is what your eye is doing when you look at the picture. Now, if you just pay attention to it for a second, I can almost tell you right now, simply because of, matter of fact, make this even easier to figure out. If you're looking at these panels, you can already imagine where your eye is probably being directed. More than likely, your eyes are looking here, starting at the top panel. Provided that you read from left to right, your eye is starting here, and it's going this way, and it's looking through at this panel, hitting a wall here. Your eye is now directed back down here, and it's looking straight here. So you don't notice any of this dead space. Your eye just looks here, wham, and it looks down immediately at this one, and then it looks down at the next panel below right here. So looks at this one, hits another wall, looks down here, looks at this panel, and is straight towards the edge of the page. Okay, now you could leave your comic looking like this right here, but you'd rather not. You can make this a lot better, and you can sort of redirect somebody's eye a lot better than what it is, because there are kind of harsh points where the eye is looking in the current page. You can make this a lot smoother than it already looks, so try this instead. And also keep in mind, to make matters worse, let's say you had something like wham or whoosh or something like that going through here. So you have a speech bubble of some sort. So fill that in. Have something, I guess, sort of going this way. So you got a speech bubble there. And then down here at the bottom, you have another sort of pow down here where the blue guy's getting punched in the face. So you got more text here. This changes things just a tad bit, because now what you have is, zooming in again, this guy up at the top, your eye is going this way, it's stopping because your eye is flowing this way, and the whoosh, or whatever this text is right here, is helping to carry your eye in this direction. So everything is heading this way, which is not bad, you're looking straight across, but then your eye jolts down here. It's seeing text in this spot since there's so much dead space in the area, sees the text, looks at this guy, hits another wall, and you look down here, and the rest of this is going in this direction, and then it finishes the page here. When I say hit a wall, what I'm basically mean is that's the place where there's nothing left on the page, so your eye stops and looks to see what's next. So This isn't bad per se, but as I said earlier, we can push this a lot further and go, just create a better page than this. So what I'm gonna do now is I'm gonna take some of these and I'm gonna move them. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take this top panel and I'm gonna turn this down this way and I'm gonna move it to here. You have this panel that's here. You have the speech bubble and the blue guy's text in the same spot. Honestly, what I would do is flip this. So I will move this here and move blue guy here, move blue guy here, and then take this and have it at the bottom. Now what this creates is your eye is doing this instead of what we saw before. It's now coming straight down, text and all. Everything is bringing your eye towards the bottom where you need to go to read this part of the picture. So your eye's coming down here instead of hitting the wall so harshly, just bam, right here at the edge of the panel. What it's doing instead is your eyes coming down and swooping this way to this panel. So your eye immediately comes down here and it starts here, goes to the speech bubble, and then the speech bubble directs your eye down this way towards the next panel after you read the text here, and you're headed down here to look at the last panel, and then you hit the wall telling you to look at the next page. If you look at this, the actual flow of this entire page is a nice little swoosh with the eyes. Your eyes sort of go from here, down here, to the speech bubble, back down to the edge. And what's happening is everything in the picture is directing your eye where to read, in a sense. So the action's heading towards the bottom half of the picture. So your eye goes down here, it comes back to the blue guy's face, you look at that, then you see the speech bubble, you read what's in here, the speech bubble's pointing down to the bottom, even though it's pointed at his mouth essentially, because that's what's speaking, it's pointing in this direction. So you look down here and go to the next panel, and then you see what's happening here, and everything's flowing straight towards the edge of the page, and then you hit your wall this way. So that's something to keep in mind. That's a lot more pleasant to look at than what we had before, where when we originally saw our page, it was this going straight across, hitting the wall, coming down, looking here, seeing the speech bubble here, which was, I guess this is too sloppy, let me stop for a second. The speech bubble was right here, and it directed you towards the mouth that was over here, so that's all headed in this direction. You hit another wall, and then you come back here, and then there's everything moving this way, and you hit a third wall. It's a lot more jarring than what we have now with this. This is a lot smoother to look at than a whole bunch of just looking straight towards the edge of the page. So that's just a little thing to keep in mind when you're creating your comics, is to know where you're trying to get everybody to flow to. Another thing to keep in mind is if you're uploading a comic like this to not this comic, because this is garbage, but if you're uploading your comic to, let's see, Webtoons or Tapastic or anything like that, make sure that you're directing someone's eye to go below. You're trying to make sure that their eye is scrolling downward, because they're going to have to scroll downward on their phone or whatever. Those platforms are actually geared towards you scrolling below. So make sure you're always trying to direct someone to look further down to the panels below and the panels on the next page. That's my little tip for the day. And make sure you subscribe to my channel, hit the little bell so you know when I get all my updates. And I'm about to get to work now. Y'all have a good one. I'm out.